You're watching Retirement Talk with Erik Kearney, Southwest Florida's retirement television. He's an author, a radio host, a fiduciary, and Southwest Florida's premier investment advisor. Here is Senior Investment Advisor Erik Kearney.
Good morning and welcome to Retirement Talk Television. My name is Cynthia DeFazio and I'm joined today by Erik Kearney. And Erik is the president and the CEO of Retirement Wealth Advisors. Good morning, Erik. How are you?
I'm great, Cynthia. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. I always look forward to our time together. You're just so amazing and so full of energy and light in the morning. So it's great. Happy to be back with you again.
I'm always happy to be back with you.
Thank you so much. Well, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about building a better portfolio today, because obviously we went through such a tumultuous time in 2020 with COVID-19 and what have you, and obviously that sharp decline that happened in March. Let's talk a little bit this morning about how to build a better portfolio overall.
Right. So this is where people have really called us this year and said, Erik, now I realize that my portfolio is struggling. I realize maybe my advisor doesn't know about a down market. Here's the thing. When we have a very strong bull market, it's often difficult to see if we have a really good portfolio, because in an upward market, everything goes up. It's when the markets plunge, it's when the markets get volatile and are going all over the place, that sometimes we start to question our portfolio. This year, more than ever, we have seen where the inner ingredients of a portfolio, the better built that portfolio is, the easier it gets through any kind of market. So there's no doubt about it that there's a lot of people who are saying, I don't think my portfolio is set up for my needs. Because what we're seeing is that if you have an inappropriately built portfolio, and there's a lot of fixed income and there's inappropriate products and tools in there, what you're doing is, with all the volatility going like this, with the markets going up and down, an inappropriate portfolio is going right through all that volatility. It's like a very small plane hitting a lot of turbulence and it's getting tossed all over the place. If you have low standard deviation, which is low volatility, and you're actually managing your beta, which is the risk. So in other words, in easier to understand terms, someone is actually managing your risk and your volatility. Your actual alpha, or your rate of return, is actually going up and above all that volatility and going over all that turbulence. You end up having a better year than a lot of people. But this is the difference between licensed salespeople, non-money managers, and a real money manager.
Sure.
Because we understand how to get through and catapult through a difficult year. And so our clients are very happy, very satisfied with their portfolios and their planning process, because we've been prepared for this. We had no clue. There's no one in the world that knew that a pandemic was coming.
Absolutely.
But yet we knew that it was a what if.
Yeah.
Or we knew that what if the markets dropped, and they did. You're not going to have a 12-year bull market run without some kind of pullback or recession.
Yeah.
But again, you've got to have that done. And that's where building a better portfolio, knowing that you can count on that person to build you an up-to-date portfolio that's relevant to the world's conditions, it'll get you through difficult times.
Absolutely. So being able to weather any storm, Erik, if you will.
Right.
Okay. I want to ask you about the importance of maybe reducing your market exposure, if you will. Let's talk a little bit about that this morning.
Sure. So as you get older, our risk tolerance changes. We get more conservative. We want to conserve more of that money. We want to make sure that we don't have as much money out there at risk. So you want to be able to methodically, over time, reduce your market exposure. So with every single client that we work with, we're showing them, how do we reduce your market exposure over time, so that when you enter into your 70s, you now have sustainable lifetime income, that you don't have to worry about the stock markets as much. So the thing is that over time, we're being very respectful of your money, your time frames, your time horizons, and also your income needs, making sure that we're giving you increasing income for the rest of your life and never have to worry about money.
Okay.
So I think the bottom line is, I think about my mom just like I think about all my other clients. My mother was a tax advisor. Later in her career, she became a licensed financial advisor. So she was in this business for quite some time. My mother is now in her mid-80s, and guess what? She worries about money. She still understands the stock market, still worries about money. So the thing is that I see her dynamics changing just as much, and she was in the business. So maybe when I'm in my mid-80s, I may be like her and worry about my money as well. I don't want my clients to have to worry about money. I want them to come in. I want to build a better portfolio for them. I want to listen to them, and I want to provide them with solutions, not just sell them products.
Erik, I should also ask you, do a lot of your clients that are actually, they're interviewing you, they're talking to you about working together with you, I should say, potential clients, when they come in to sit with you and they have their current portfolio in place, are they sometimes shocked to see how much risk they're actually taking?
Yeah. There's a lot of times where people said, I never knew how much risk was in my portfolio. I was never told how volatile my portfolio was. I was never really told what my rate of returns have been. When we give you the offer and we tell you that you're going to know more about your portfolio than ever before, more than likely that's 100% true. I'm all about transparency.
Yeah.
Things are not always going to be smooth in retirement. And so if we're transparent with our clients and say, look, we're going to build you the very best financial plan that we can, but there's going to be contingency plans in there because things are going to change. We understand that the markets are going to go up, they're going to go down. But as long as we're building that better portfolio for them, we know that they're going to be in an okay position.
Sure.
So the bottom line is that we need to show them completely what's going on, all transparency, so that nobody comes in with, well, I didn't know about this and I didn't know about this. We have them sign off on everything. Do you understand your risk? Do you understand your volatility? Have we explained everything to you? They sign off on that because I want to make sure that they're leaving our office being educated about their portfolio. And it doesn't matter what size portfolios are out there, believe it or not. We've seen good size portfolios all the way from $500,000 up to $15 million. Those $15 million portfolios, don't believe that those people have the best portfolios that are the most sophisticated. That's not always true either. And so again, we have clients from all different walks of life, and they're coming to us and they want transparency.
Absolutely. Well, Erik, we're about ready to open up the phone lines for the first time to the viewing audience at home. Can you tell them what they can expect to receive by being one of your callers today?
Sure, Cynthia. So if you're watching today and you want to know how to build a better portfolio and you're questioning your current situation, you're looking for a second opinion, or you want a full financial plan, give us a call today. We're going to take the next 10 callers who are in need of that financial plan that is missing. This is over $1,000 value. We'll be giving it away complimentary, no obligation. Give us a call today. We're going to run all the reports for you. The fee report, the Morningstar reports, a tax analysis, maybe a volatility analysis. Let's see where it takes you. Let's see where that plan takes you. Let's get you reacquainted with your portfolio, and again, without any obligation. If you're interested in your very own income plan, we'll show you proven strategies and techniques to turbocharge your retirement income. In short, we're going to take all the guesswork out of financial planning. So again, for the next 10 callers, 1-800-779-1942.
Erik, thank you so much. To the viewing audience at home, the phone lines are now open. That number to call again is 800-779-1942. Erik is offering you a complimentary consultation to go over the current plan that you may have in place, or perhaps to get your plan set up for the first time ever. This value again is $1,000, but Erik is offering it to you complimentary. Once again, it's open to the next 10 callers. The number to call is 800-779-1942. We'll be right back after this very short commercial break.
What does your retirement look like? Is it filled with travel, spending time with family, uninterrupted rounds at the golf course? Or are you too worried to even think about your hopes and dreams?
Questions about your retirement are normal. So come into our office, sit down with us, and let us help you find those answers.
Erik and his team can answer your questions with a complimentary review of your retirement and income plan, and it all starts with getting to know you.
We specialize in helping people just like you prepare for the retirement that they've always dreamed of.
They'll do exactly that by going over your current strategy to expose the weaknesses that may exist in your retirement portfolio. Plus, they'll explain potential risks and possible strategies to you in easy-to-understand terms and help get you reacquainted with your portfolio and income strategy.
What I enjoy most about retirement planning is sitting down with you and having real conversations about your retirement dreams and goals.
Once they understand your retirement goals, objectives, and dreams, they'll work to custom build a retirement plan to help ensure that you cannot outlive your income in retirement.
Retirement doesn't have to be scary. Let us help you retire confidently.
Because every dream needs a plan. Call Erik today and schedule your visit. You only retire once, so let's get it right the first time.
Welcome back to Retirement Talk Television. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Erik Kearney, and Erik is the president and CEO of Retirement Wealth Advisors. Erik, another great show, just talking all about how to build a better portfolio. And I think it's such a very important component, obviously, in retirement, because it's going to be something that needs to be looked at so you have that guaranteed income stream.
Right.
So with that being said, the next thing I'd like to ask you about is how do you improve your asset allocation?
Right. So this is something that we're constantly taking a look at. This is how boring I am. When I wake up in the morning, I look at what the markets are doing and I think about my asset allocation for my clients. When I go to bed at night, I do the same. So, I mean, I live, eat, sleep, and breathe with asset allocation. This is my baby of the financial planning side because Donna is really handling the financial planning department, doing that financial plan, writing the lifestyle income plan. I'm figuring out what your purpose is, and then all of a sudden, once I see how much your lifestyle costs, I then have to build an asset allocation according to that. And this is where we get down to really, I mean, there's no cookie cutter for everyone. Everyone has a different lifestyle, and we have to invest appropriately for that. But what we're seeing is that we're seeing where a lot of people's asset allocations are completely outdated. They have a lot of toxic holdings in there. They're very expensive. It's just completely irrelevant. And so again, what we're trying to do is make that portfolio and that asset allocation more relevant to today's world. And so there's a lot of times where we see very significantly old investments in there that are not really working out for that client's best interest. By changing the dynamics, by cleaning up that portfolio, by making it more relevant, it actually gives that portfolio life. And that's what I want to see. I want to take a look at that portfolio and I want to understand what you're trying to accomplish. If I take a look at a portfolio and I don't understand what you're trying to do, more than likely it's not working out for your benefit. So this is what we're really looking at is this portfolio appropriate for you? And also, when we meet with a prospective client, if they have a really good portfolio, I'm going to tell them it's a great portfolio. You may want to tweak a few things, but you're in good shape. Sometimes they still work with us, Cynthia. Sometimes they don't, and I'm okay with that. There's a lot of people out there who do have good advisors. They're just seeking a second opinion. But we want to be 100% with them and give them the truth and just say, look, if it's a great portfolio, you're in great shape, right?
Absolutely.
And that's great.
And I know they appreciate your honesty, and we've talked about this in the past, your transparency. What you see is what you get with you, which I think everyone loves about you, Erik Kearney, absolutely. So I want to talk to you a little bit about how to lower your standard deviation. Let's talk about how that plays into effect.
Yeah, so standard deviation, two big words, sounds mathematical. I was horrible at math in high school. Maybe I shouldn't say that, I don't know. But I love numbers and I get it. But the bottom line is standard deviation is just a big word for volatility. I want to lower my volatility. And so in these kind of markets, by you actually lowering your volatility, now what you're doing is you're calming down the portfolio a little bit, and it smooths out your rate of returns. When people want to be so aggressive, their standard deviation is going to be through the roof. As soon as you bring that down, again, you're calming down that portfolio, you're bringing it down a little bit, and now all of a sudden it's not as tumultuous. So I think about my mother when she comes and visits me in Florida. She has the news going on at like level 10, and I'm like, holy cow, my standard deviation is through the roof because like I'm just listening that at full volume. When I turn down the volume, it's actually much more comforting for me,
Sure.
right? But what I did was I lowered the volatility on the TV screen, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to take that portfolio, calm it down, and get through difficult times.
Okay.
And again, when we have a strong bull market, some people don't really care about the volatility because we're just going through it.
Yeah.
But in difficult years like this, or sustainability long term, you really have to control that.
Okay, okay. Erik, also let's talk about increasing your Sharpe ratio and your alpha, if
Right.
you will. What does that mean?
So Sharpe ratio is just basically your rate of return adjusted with risk in the portfolio. And what it's doing is it's comparing your actual rate of return to a specific benchmark. And it's saying, with the amount of risk that you're taking, with the amount of volatility that you're taking, are you doing better than the benchmarks or worse? And so what we're seeing is a lot of people are taking on a lot of risk and a lot of volatility, but they're not being rewarded. They're taking on more risk, more volatility than the indexes, and they're actually getting a lower rate of return. So again, when we talk about the volatile markets, when we're going through a volatile market and the markets are going like this, our portfolio that doesn't have very much alpha, doesn't have very much upside or Sharpe ratio, is going right through the middle of that volatility. And we're suffering because of that. So a better built portfolio from a money manager, not some licensed salesperson. You know, you see these big box firms, and then you see these firms that are on every corner. People think that they're actual money managers. They're not. They're just licensed salespeople going to their back office saying, hey, what portfolio or stocks can I push today? When I take a look at a portfolio in Southwest Florida, if it's from the same firm up in Pennsylvania or out in California or down in New Mexico, it's the same holdings.
Okay.
And it's funny because you've got 4 different advisors and pretty much the same portfolio. How can that possibly be good for that client?
Right.
And so that's kind of eye-opening to the client. I really thought that they were looking out for me, but they're not. So this is where how to build a better portfolio, we're breaking down the portfolio from them, again, getting them reacquainted with their portfolio, and they typically do know more about their portfolio than ever before, and that's how you're able to move forward.
Okay. Erik, I want to also talk to you about reducing fees in a portfolio. Are a lot of people surprised to see how many fees they're paying, and perhaps some of them are hidden fees?
Yeah. Billions of dollars out there that retirees and pre-retirees are paying in fees. These are net expense ratios. These are variable annuities. These are non-traded REITs. The fees are beyond belief. Our job is to reduce those fees. They're going to someone else. There was a gentleman that came into my office about 2 years ago, and I said, I could save you about $5,000 in fees. He says, honestly, Erik, if I don't see him come out, what does it really matter to me? And I said, well, let's look at it this way. What if you had to stroke a personal check every single year for $5,000? He says, well, I wouldn't like that. It's no different if they're taking it out from your actual gains through the net expense ratio than cutting a check. They're taking those fees one way or another. And a lot of people are seeing now that my account is suffering because the company or the advisor is making more fees than what I'm actually getting. So are you being rewarded for the risk that you're taking? And so by reducing fees, this is significant. Variable annuities are one of the worst ones. They are basically the king of fees, and we are replacing a ton of variable annuities. We're not a big annuity shop, and so the thing is that people are coming to us, and Erik, please help me out with these. And again, the people that we're taking out of the variable annuities and putting them into a more appropriate product are our biggest advocates. Erik, please help anyone that's in this situation. Call us and we will tell them how you helped us with this. We are so grateful. We have literally changed people's financial lives by getting them out of these inappropriate, very expensive products. And the thing is that you want to reduce that because that's more money for you in the long run.
Absolutely. Well, Erik, we're about ready to open up the phone lines for the second time this week. Can you tell the viewing audience what they can expect to receive by calling in today?
Sure, Cynthia. If you have a reasonable doubt about your current advisor or your current financial situation, you're looking for a second opinion, let's get that financial plan written for you. It's over $1,000 value. We'll be giving it away complimentary, no obligation to the next 10 callers. And what this will consist of is simply taking the mystery out of financial planning. We're going to run all the reports for you, the fee report, the Morningstar reports, a tax analysis, maybe even a volatility analysis. Let's see where it takes you. Let's see where that plan leads you. Let's get you reacquainted with your portfolio, and again, without any obligation. If you're interested in your very own income plan, we'll show you proven strategies and techniques to turbocharge your retirement income. In short, we're going to take all the guesswork out of financial planning. So again, give us a call, 1-800-779-1942.
Erik, thank you so much. To the viewing audience at home, the phone lines are now open. That number to call once again is 800-779-1942. In the past, we realized the phone line had been busy, so there's an additional phone line this week for your convenience. Again, the number to call is 800-779-1942. We know you have a lot of questions about planning your perfect stress-free retirement. Erik has the answers for you. We'll be right back after this very short commercial break.
What does your retirement look like? Is it filled with travel, spending time with family, or are you too worried to even think about your hopes and dreams? Erik and his team can answer your questions with a complimentary review of your retirement and income plan, and it all starts with getting to know you. Because every dream needs a plan. Call Erik today and schedule your visit. You only retire once, so let's get it right the first time.
Welcome back to Retirement Talk Television. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Erik Kearney. And Erik is the president and the CEO of Retirement Wealth Advisors. Great show, Erik, just obviously talking about building a portfolio. And wanted to jump right in. How important is it, Erik, to have a long-term financial plan?
100%. I mean, there's a lot of people that say, here, Erik, here's my investments. I really don't need the financial plan. Here's what I say. Here's your investments, because I'm not going to take them over without doing a financial plan. And I'm really serious about that, because here's the deal. I need to know where you are. I need to know where my clients are. There's a huge collaboration between the wealth management side of my office and the financial planning side. There's a lot of time where I'm going back to Donna and the people that work with her and saying, okay, how has this client's needs changed? They have healthcare issues. What's going on with that? They have a disabled child. How do we handle that? Every single year, we're updating that financial plan according to what's going on in the world. So I have to know what's going on with their financial life as it ebbs and flows. There's always going to be changes. Again, if you really think that you're going to get through the next 20 or 25 years of retirement without any glitches, you're sadly mistaken. I've seen it. The one thing about working with well over 150 families is I see different events happen throughout their different lives. And we see so many different events happening that we didn't even see coming. But yet we have to be prepared for those. That financial plan is so critical. And again, it doesn't matter what size portfolio. People always think that very affluent clients have these fancy written financial plans. Not true. We have taken on very large portfolios this year. No financial planning was done. No tax planning was done. Absolutely no lifestyle income planning was done. Yet these people are spending quite a bit of money every year and just hoping that it's going to last. So the financial plan is really critical. That's the first thing that needs to be built. And there's a lot of times where people don't want to take the investment. They don't want to take the time of investing and sitting down with someone and building that. And that's when I know that they're not a good fit. The problem is that if you come into me and I tell you, okay, I can fix your portfolio, I can get you a better portfolio, you sign over your investments to me, we electronically move them over, and we start managing that portfolio. Guess what? In another 1 or 2 years, you're going to go back to the way that you felt before you came in and saw me, because you're going to be like, well, where do I stand? How do I really know where I am? And you're back to that point where you need a financial plan. So it doesn't matter, and that's the problem with a lot of advisors. They're just telling people, I can give you a better portfolio, and the person hopes that they can, but no financial plan is written, no income plan is written. And we actually had a gentleman call me after my radio show, and he goes, Erik, all you do is talk about retirement planning, financial planning, and income planning. I'm like, well, that's kind of what we do, right? Like, I'm not going to talk about, a mechanic's garage, that's not what I do. I'm certainly not good at electrical work. So I'm a financial planner, so that's what we talk about. So I thought that was kind of crazy, but
Absolutely.
That's what we do. And it's the financial plan that gets you through a difficult retirement. It gets you through all those volatile markets. It explains and gives you transparency of why you're actually doing planning. And so this is what our clients want, is they're craving that transparency to know that they're going to be okay.
Sure. Erik, I have to ask you, is it still a staggering number of people that do not have a true retirement plan in place?
Yeah, so we read an article the other day, 62% of affluent individuals who are deep into retirement do not have a written income plan. So what that's telling me, Cynthia, is they do not understand where their income's coming from.
Yeah.
It's just being pulled all the way through their portfolio. But again, it comes down to sequence of returns or account sequencing. How am I specifically and strategically pulling from my accounts so that I have long-term sustainability? So there's a method to that madness, and you really have to go into the accounts. And there's a lot of times where my assistants will call me throughout the day if I'm in one of my other offices, hey, this client needs so much money, which accounts do I pull it from? They understand that we have to be very careful about where we actually pull it from.
Sure.
So I'm instructing them, I'm going into the account and saying, okay, let's do this and let's do this. It's all about consistent planning going forward and being proactive, again, instead of being reactive. You have to constantly pay attention to that client's needs. And there's so many people out there that are not being heard by their advisor, and that's why they're so disgusted with this industry.
Yeah.
Rightfully so, because they're not being put through that process that they actually deserve.
Well, it kind of goes into my next question that I had for you, Erik. How important is communication between an advisor and a client? Where would you rank that?
The number one thing.
Okay.
People want to be heard. After every single client meeting, we send out a video, we follow up with them. We're making sure that they understand what happened in that meeting. We want to understand that we're all on the same page. When the markets get tumultuous, we're reaching out to our clients. Are you okay? There's more hand-holding through a difficult market than ever before. So that's really critical. Communication is number one.
Okay. Erik, we have only about a minute left in the show this week. Can you tell the viewers one more time what they can expect to receive by calling in?
Sure, Cynthia. So if you've seen anything on today's show, I got to wrap this up kind of quick, but if you're interested in a second opinion or a full financial plan, give us a call today. Let's run all those reports. Let's get you reacquainted with that portfolio. Let's build an income plan for you. I promise you'll know more about your portfolio than ever before. Thank you so much for watching. Call us right now, 1-800-779-1942.
Erik, thank you so much. To the viewing audience at home, thank you so much for spending time with us again this week. We love having you here. The number to call is 800-779-1942. You only get one chance to retire, so let's make sure you're doing it right. Erik is here to help guide you along the way to make it easy, peaceful, and stress-free. Once again, we will see you again next week. Thank you for watching. Be safe, happy, and blessed.